Alright, we are here. Sorry for that little bit of a delay at the start. But, here we are for Season 2, Race 2 of my F1 2020-19 career mode, the Bahrain Grand Prix. And now that we don't have to take any engine penalties, this is, I guess you could say, the real start of our season. Seeing qualifying where our pace really is, and see how we do in the race, and see if we have sort of the same problems in Bahrain that we did in Australia, where we just couldn't follow the guys in front of us. Have a bunch of resource points, but I'm waiting to save up to get a major chassis upgrade, potentially rush it. So should be able to get that during the next weekend. So there you go. And I think we are pretty much ready to go for qualifying. Alright, Bahrain's typically one of my better circuits, so we'll see how we do in qualifying. Qualifying program had us around 9th place, so we'll see if that's where we end up. First sector. I feel like I've taken that corner a lot better all weekend. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Looks like we ended up in P6, which beats our projected spot by a little bit. We were projected 9th in the qualifying practice program, so...
And with qualifying complete, let's review our top 3 today. Bottas, Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton. Goodbye for now then, but we're really just getting started. Make sure to join us again for Lights Out tomorrow.
Well, our teammate certainly didn't have a good qualifying run. He's down in P20. We are in P6. Much more normal effort compared to Australia, where you have Mercedes and Ferrari on the front 2 rows. And also, what's good for us is that Bahrain is usually a track where we can get a lot of positions on the start going into turn 1, so could potentially be in for a podium in this race. we are losing that rivalry to Vettel.
I think we can call that a successful qualifying. We should be in with a good chance in the race.
Yes, I would agree. That was a pretty successful qualifying effort. Alright, well, let's see what we can do in the Bahrain Grand Prix.
The stage is set for another enthralling race here in the Kingdom of Bahrain. A Ferrari stronghold in years gone by, but will they be able to add to their record today? We'll be racing around 3.36 miles of the magnificent Bahrain International Circuit today. Keep an eye out for drivers locking the front left down into the tricky braking zone of turn 10. Joining us today to oversee all the thrills and spills, it's Anthony Davidson. And great to see you. How are you feeling about the race today, and how are the circuit conditions from what you've seen?
Well, it's looking a bit cold out there, if I'm honest. These tyres have quite a narrow operating window in terms of the temperatures they need to extract the best grip. So with a cold track surface, it's going to be harder to keep those temperatures up, which will lead to lower grip and maybe more mistakes.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Valtteri Bottas lines up on pole position with Charles Leclerc alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Hamilton, Vettel, Alexander Albon, and the owner driver. Verstappen, Perez, Ricciardo, and Lance Stroll. Sainz, Gasly, George Russell, and Norris. Ocon, Kvyat, Antonio Giovinazzi, and Roman Grosjean. De Vries, Magnussen, Latifi, and Tatiana Calderon. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out. Then let's see who can prevail today.
Curious to see the strategy, 'cause last year, or in Season 1, it was a 2-stop. So let's see if this is also 2-stop, or if it's changed to a 1-stop.
After the points finish last race, let's aim to keep the momentum going.
And thankfully, because we're starting 6, I mean, we're not in the preferred line per se, because we're obviously on the even-numbered side of the grid. We're on the dirtier side, but we will have the edge for potential dives into turn 1. So, according to this, looks like we are, in fact, doing a 2-stop. Now, see, we will change this around to medium. So change that around. Doing my typical soft, medium, soft strategy. So that should work out just fine. Though who knows, the safety car might change things up. Well, let's go to the race.
Okay, how was the pull away? You'll have a bit more grip than that on the start, but we need to warm the tyres properly now. Make sure you get some heat into the brakes as well. Radar is clear. Weather is looking good for now. Dries seem like the fastest tyre at the moment.
I don't know why I even asked that question on a track like this in the middle of the desert, but
Say again, you're breaking up. The drivers we're fighting here are Albon and Verstappen.
and just to check the race director. Excuse me. Okay, so this is a little bit more typical. I'd say actually about half the field is split. You got everyone in the top 10, obviously on softs. Then you have, for some reason, Giovinazzi and Grosjean on softs. And then everyone else is on mediums. So basically it's going to be looking out for who of those medium tire runners gets off well at the start. So you could be in for a very good points result if the strategy falls their way. Again, Bahrain is one of those tracks where the one stop can be very powerful for that first 2 or 3 cars that ultimately are running a strategy to end up in that. They're basically the top cars with that strategy once the field sorts out after the start. Because Fiat and Norris and Raikkonen all got good results in the first. Gasly all got good results on this race. Season 1 because they've applied that strategy. So see if that works out for them again.
No rain expected. No rain expected for the time being.
I'm also very, of course, curious to see how Hamilton can bounce back after DNFing out of the race in Bahrain. Or in Australia, I should say. And here we go. Up to the start line.
Keep an eye on the lights. The start sequence will begin as soon as the grid has formed. Be ready with the clutch.
Alright, get ready to go. For the second race of the season, Bahrain Grand Prix, and now it's the real start of our season. 5 red lights. We're underway, and I guess I didn't get a grid penalty for a jump start. I thought I jumped the start. Or did I just time that really well? Oh my god, I think I just timed that start perfectly. Just watching. Cause I thought I jumped the start just now, so let me see. Just super slow-mo. Lights out. No, I think I just timed it perfectly. Super slow-mo. Lights out. And I'm gone before Verstappen is even moving. So we timed that start. Like by the millisecond. It looked like a jump start, but it wasn't. It was just superbly timed. I can't believe I did that. That's absolutely incredible. Like literally, it was down to the millisecond. I honestly thought I just jumped the start there, but apparently not. Apparently, it was pretty close. So let's see what we can get in turn one. Get Bottas. Ooh, squeeze! We get him. We are in the lead. Bahrain Grand Prix. What a start that was. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to save it right now. There's a bit of a storm going on outside, so the power gets knocked out, which hey, it tends to happen sometimes. You have a storm coming through, and it won't knock out your power totally, but it will kind of go off for like a split second. That can still like mess everything up and turn everything off. So actually rewinding, because I think Hamilton had a big moment in this turn here at the end of the first sector. Yeah, he just had a bit of a tank slapper there. Looks like. Did he make contact with Bottas? It might have been the slightest bit of contact with Bottas. It was enough to like get him into a slide, and he lost. He probably was actually going to get the position for Bottas, I think, but did not work out for him. I've got Leclerc right behind me.
Nice start. Let's keep it up.
Actually going to pause for 1 second. Yeah, I just wanted to check outside, because rain's really coming down right now. Pouring, wind's blowing, all 9 yards. But in any case, we're still gonna go ahead. Ooh, blocking Leclerc, forcing him to go to the outside. Isn't even, we haven't reached the point where DRS is activated yet. Run a little wide. This is going to be a big challenge, trying to just fend off these positions. Actually, I just realized that if we end up creating any sort of train right here, that is going to immensely help pretty much everyone that's doing the one stop, which right now, look at the race director. The leading cars on the medium tires are Russell, Sainz, and Gasly. And so if I'm not able to pull away from any of these guys, and if I guess the faster cars in general aren't able to pull away from the slower pack, then guys like Russell and Sainz and Gasly, they're going to be on for a superb result in this race. Here comes Leclerc.
DRS will be enabled
Taking the
this lap.
inside,
You can
forces
use
to
it
take
when
the
within 1 second
outside.
of the car ahead, and
Everyone in the
DRS
top
zone.
5 saying the fastest lap of the race, it felt like there. We pulled off Leclerc for the moment. And again, if he's going to try to make a pass using DRS, we're going to make him take a long way around. Ooh, and he tried to go low on us, but I think we cut him off. And that's going to make him fall into the clutches of Bottas. Let's see. And get away from Leclerc a little bit here. See if we can break the DRS barrier to him. Which of course would be a big help for our cause, as we, for some reason, can't take that turn. Wants to go very wide. For whatever reason, I'm not sure. There we go, that's much better. Out of Leclerc's DRS range. We have gained a little bit of a gap to him, which is promising. Leclerc in our slipstream. As is Bottas. Tire wear check. Doing pretty okay right now, considering we're on the soft tire. How about that? We just set a purple first sector.
Be careful, we think you're going to start losing some tyre grip around now.
I'd be curious to see if anyone on the softs tries to do the one stop like we saw in Australia. But the fact that this was the recommended strategy, the two-stop, makes me think we'll be seeing people do the two-stop. Excuse me. Hiccups there. Yeah, the fact that the recommended strategy was a two-stop makes me think that everyone who's on the softs is doing the two-stop.
We're not going to be able to run in this engine mode much longer. We're about a lap over target. Drop down to mix 2 soon.
Turn 1, but he's not going to get the chance as we hold him off. Got a little bit of a tank slapper there. Actually, I just noticed one of the Alfa Romeos is broken out from the mid-pack. And it's trying to close in on the racing points. That is Grosjean. Of course, as I mentioned earlier, the Alfa Romeos decided to start on the soft tire, even though they were 16th and 17th to start or something like that. So, again, one thing that we always have on the F1 games in our favor is that traction out of the corners, particularly out of the low-speed corners. We just have, no matter what car I drive, we just have supremely good traction. It always helps us out. It's going to be a hard defense. Leclerc's going to be right up my gearbox this lap.
We're approaching the pit window. You'll be on the mediums.
Will Bottas make a move on Leclerc? No, he won't. Stays behind him. Should check something with my teammate.
We're leading our teammate by 17.0 seconds. They're on old mediums. They're in 20th. The time last lap was a 1:34.2.
Just wanted to check the where the pit delta was compared to my teammate in terms of where we would come out. And actually, our pit predictor says we would come out 21st. So in between two Williams. That means that anybody who pits at this point that's on softs is definitely going to be stuck in traffic, which should make this race very, very interesting. Very interesting. Again, the problem is that if any of the guys behind us got past us, they would probably, especially if it's a Ferrari or a Mercedes, they would probably be waltzing off into the distance. But that's not happening because we are out front. As Leclerc has a very bad final corner that might cost him second place in Bottas. No, nobody's making a move yet. Nobody's making a move yet. Well, just pause for a second. The rain's coming down again. Well, it stopped, but I guess it's still coming on. Just check my phone. Special weather statement. Line of strong thunderstorms will affect various counties. Don't know if you're watching this, if you can hear that in the background, but I think that's the rain just coming down. Checking the radar here. I thought we were pretty much almost out of the woods, but I guess not. Let me just check again real quick. Not just the rain and the wind coming down and blowing really hard, respectively. As we continue Bahrain Grand Prix. From a lap away, pit stops. Or at least the first set of pit stops. I do plan on pitting at lap 8. was the recommended stop lap on our strategy. So it'll be interesting to see who else follows us in either the lap we pits or in the lap after we pit. It's up to 20th, so we would come out in front of the two Williams cars, essentially. Ooh, and Leclerc is the first one to dive into the pits.
We're going to box this lap, push hard on the in-lap.
As well as Verstappen. Also decides to come into the pits. Going to be interesting to see what tire they go on. Check in a second. Of course, the top team's pitting at the end of the pits. They're entering pit road, so we'll see what tires they decide to go on. And Leclerc is going on to a set of soft tires, so I think Leclerc is doing the exact same strategy that I am doing of either... Well, he's either going to do the same thing where he's doing soft, medium, soft, or he's going to do soft, medium, medium. While Verstappen is going with 2 sets of softs. So there you go. That is Bottas is to make a move. We move to the outside to force him around the outside line. We squeeze him out and hold on to the position. Looks like Leclerc came out right in front of one of the Williams cars.
Understood, stopping this lap. Affirmative, medium tyres at the next stop.
It looks like Verstappen actually got caught behind one of the Williams, so he's going to undoubtedly lose a little bit to Leclerc here. Despite the fact that he's on the better tire. Hamilton follows us into the pits along with Albon and Vettel. Who else comes in? Let me see. Vettel that comes, or Hamilton that comes in, Albon comes in, Vettel comes in, Ricardo comes in, Perez comes in. So those are all the people pitting. And it looks like Perez is going on to softs. Hamilton he's going to go soft. Who's that? That's Vettel going on the softs. Albon going soft, Ricardo going soft, and Perez going soft. So the only ones here in the front running pack that are doing the medium tire strategy
Exit now.
are myself and Leclerc. Actually, Leclerc is going to beat us at the pits.
Let's get some heat into those tyres.
So Leclerc the undercut has worked a charm for Leclerc. He has jumped us in the pits. And Verstappen, the undercut has also worked for him, as he, despite being held up by Williams, has gotten past with both Mercedes cars. He's gotten by Hamilton, and presumably he'll get by Bottas as well.
We advise moving to mix 2, fuel to mix 2.
I would suspect that staying out this long is not going to work in the benefit of Bottas unless he is going onto a set of hard tires. We'll see momentarily. Well, here comes Max. Verstappen's hard charging. We're gonna hold him off into turn 1. As Bottas is gonna be a big loser. Oh, and I made contact with Verstappen. You know, honestly, I should just let Verstappen go since he has the faster tire right now. I do need to save a little bit of fuel, but Verstappen just, for whatever reason, decides not to pass us. We went wide, and he just did not follow up. Now, up next, in terms of the leaders, our friend Leclerc is my teammate Kevin Magnussen. Running in P10 actually, we're in P12. Williams are so slow that they were essentially pit stop behind us, and we all essentially came out ahead of them, so they're fairly slow at the moment. Grosjean, who was leading the race, remember the Alfa Romeos are on soft tires, and it looks like even though he's on softs, he might be trying to stretch. That's actually Giovinazzi, he's on hard, so I guess good on the Alfa Romeos. You know, the Racing Point cars, and particularly Perez, get a lot of credit for their tire-saving ability. But I think also to give, at least in the game universe, the universe of F1 2020, I have to give a ton of credit to Giovinazzi and the Alfa Romeos. Because I remember in the last couple races of Season 1, there were times where Giovinazzi was pulling off some really brilliant strategies, just running long on a certain set of tire. Popped up, but nevertheless, we are still going. Hopefully my teammate can hold up Leclerc a little bit. That would be lovely. It looks like he has. A little bit. Surprised that Leclerc has gotten by my teammate yet. Verstappen looks to make a move to the outside, but fend off the position there. Ooh, that got really close to the wall. I was not paying attention. Turn in. Verstappen are outside, but we make it work. Verstappen to make a move as Leclerc makes a move on his teammate. Roman Grosjean hits the pits. We make a wild move back to the outside of Verstappen. And we maintain what is now P10 after both Alfa Romeos make their stops. We're going to be able to get by Magnussen here. Hopefully our teammate will cut us a break. Can we get him here? No, we're not close enough. Of course, Magnussen doesn't have to yield. We are racing him for position. But so he has every right to defend the position. Let's see if we can get by him here, though. Yep, he's going to move over to the... Oh, almost squeezed this out. He's going to move over a little bit, give us some room. Maybe we'll get by him quite easily. So, thank you, Kevin, for not racing me too hard. Thank you for, I guess, understanding our situation. As George Russell is now in the lead of the Grand Prix, by virtue of the various pit strategies that are going on. So, at this point, nobody on mediums has stopped yet. Or nobody who started on the medium tires has made their stop yet. Kind of hesitated when we saw we were in 9th, and then realized that we were already ahead of some guys who started on the medium tires, mainly our teammate Kevin Magnussen and the 2 Williams cars. So this is the game right now. We are in 9th, Claire's in 8th, and the game's going to be when do these guys in front of us pit, and then when do the rest of us come out when we make our second stops. Meanwhile, we're going to be using this traffic, or we're going to be attempting to use this traffic to our advantage, potentially getting back by Leclerc. One big DRS train. This is an opportunity to save a little bit of fuel. Leclerc is currently being trapped behind Kvyat. Let's see what we can do. Ooh, and as I say that, here comes Verstappen.
Check your MFD.
Oh, and I went for a move and it didn't work. Tried to go for a crossover. Let's try that again. There we go, that's better. Some of the cars on mediums diving into the pits now. Verstappen makes a move. Again. Leclerc not able to get by Kvyat still. We make a dive! It's tight, but we get it. We turned an offensive
Kevin is in the pits.
move, or defensive move, into attacking move. We've got by. We have not only defended successfully from Max Verstappen, we got by Leclerc and retaken our position that we originally had when we first stopped. Diving move on Kvyat. Tight, but we make it stick. And now Kvyat's going to hold up Leclerc a little bit, which will help us a ton. Maybe not so much. Leclerc got by him pretty quickly. Lando Norris still in front of us again. Should remind everyone that Norris used the strategy to his advantage in season 1, so not surprised, or no surprise that he's making it work for him now. And how about George Russell right in front of us, doing a great job. Now he comes in. Here we go. Now it's back to me and Leclerc battling for the lead. Leclerc using DRS because we were actually in the lead mix for part of that front straightaway. So the key now is, when do we come out? Now, of course, because all of the other guys behind myself and Leclerc, so your Verstappens, your Hamiltons, your Albons, your Vettels, your Bottas's, they are all on soft tires, I believe. Check the race director. Yeah, so myself and Leclerc are the only one of the front runners that are on mediums. So what that means is that, you know, like Verstappen and Hamilton and Albon and Vettel and Bottas, they're going to be stopping a couple laps before myself and Leclerc. Where that helps us is that they will likely be stuck in that traffic that we were already stuck in previously. Whether it be one car or several cars. Now, we don't stop again, or we're not supposed to stop again until lap 21. We still got a couple laps yet. But as Leclerc tries to make a move, which we fend off, our current pit projection for our next stop is us coming out in 14th. As Leclerc makes a move.
We pretty much burned off our excess fuel.
Which I did a horrible job of defending because I didn't realize I was trying to get into rich by changing the wing, which I wasn't trying to do. Flip it into rich mix, overtake mode, that should help fend off. And as I say that, Verstappen
The teammate behind is 25.3 seconds.
Of course, that's no surprise because Verstappen pitted on the same lap as Leclerc. So I would expect Hamilton and Albon and Vettel to be in on the next lap. Now it's going to be interesting to see where does Verstappen come out on track. He's behind one of the Alfa Romeos. He's behind one of the... Is that one of the McLarens? I thought... Let's see. Yeah, he's behind Giovinazzi, and he's behind Sainz. And he's going to be behind a whole bunch of others. So that means that when those Mercedes, when the other Red Bull, the other Ferrari, when they pit, they're going to be right in the thick of that traffic. Which will help us, because yes, they will be on a fresher set of mediums, but they're going to be, again, in traffic. Projection has this coming out in P12. The guys in the one stop are really making it work for them right now. Leclerc looking to make a move to the outside. Not gonna work. Going to rich mix. Overtake mode. Hamilton pits, Albon pits, Vettel pits, Perez pits, Ricciardo pits. Leclerc to the outside. Gonna get by. We're gonna have the advantage under braking in turn one. We are in position. Let's see where Hamilton and those guys come out. Okay, Gasly's gonna beat them out, and George Russell is gonna beat them out. So Hamilton. Ooh, that was not my fault. I'm sorry, Leclerc. Let's try that again. I did not intentionally try to wreck Leclerc there. That was totally an accident. But let us check where Hamilton comes out. He comes out. Sainz. Giovinazzi, Sainz. Gasly already by. There's Russell on track. There is Grosjean. We'll see after these next couple corners where they are out relatively. I think Verstappen is going to end up losing that time because he was stuck behind that traffic. And I believe Hamilton's going to be about side by side with Grosjean. Well, Albon was side by side with his teammate Verstappen there for a second. Of course, not surprised that Hamilton would have the advantage because he's on fresher tires and in a faster race car. So we are, again, we still have a couple laps to go yet before we pit. Right now our pit delta has us coming out 8th place. And right now 8th place is Russell. So we would be coming out right around George Russell. So again, should be noted, we will be on the fastest tire to end the race. So, it should be interesting to see what kind of advantage, or I guess disadvantage, that gives us. I presume Bottas will be in this lap, as will Stroll. Yep, there they come. Very interesting to see where they come out. As Leclerc makes another bit for the lead.
For now, everything's looking good.
We are gonna get him again, though. We're gonna turn 1. Our best spot in the track, right there. Tell you what, I think the Mercedes are actually in a great position. Well, I say both Mercedes really. I think Hamilton's in a great position right now. He's catching up to Gasly, and Gasly is about 20 seconds behind us. And actually, those cars on the hard tires are actually working in our favor because they're slowing them up just a little bit and helping them fit into our pit delta. So right now, it actually shows us coming out in P6. Oh, and Leclerc, he dives in.
We're approaching the pit window. You'll be on the softs.
I have a feeling that Leclerc is going to be going onto a set of medium tires. So he pitted 2 laps before I've scheduled the pit. We'll see where he comes out. Is he going to come out behind Hamilton? Looks like he might. He does. Hamilton jumps Leclerc in the pits, as does Bottas. Now Hamilton is an exact 20 seconds or so behind us. I think I'm going to call a bit of an audible on the strategy. Strategy says to come in at lap 21. I think I'm going to come in instead on lap 20. It might be a bit of a risk, but Hamilton is gaining time, or closing the gap ever so slightly. And I want to get the chance to make a pit stop while he's still going to have to fight Seitz and Giovinazzi. So
Okay, we can take you this lap.
I'm going to pit this time.
Roger that. Soft tyres at the next pit stop.
Yeah, Hamilton has suddenly become the real threat in this race. The timing of the traffic and everything, he got it down perfectly, because now Gasly and Bottas, as you can see on the mini-map, they're stuck behind, or they were stuck behind Giovinazzi. Or not Giovinazzi, they were stuck behind Vieta, or Gasly. I'm pretty sure it was Gasly.
Right, come in at the end of this lap.
So we're going to go a lap longer in the softs than we originally intended. But given the current situation, I think it's necessary. So here we go. Into the pits for our final stop out of the lead. We're definitely going to lose the lead, but the question is going to be where we come out. How much farther up the field can these soft tires take us in these last 8 or 9 laps of the race? So we're going to come out.
Okay, stay clear of the white line on the exit.
A little bit
You'll
tough.
receive a
We're
penalty
right
for dangerous
behind
driving if
Gasly
you
and
cross over into the track.
Leclerc. Super tight. No damage though. We're okay. It's a very tight pit exit.
We're not going to be able to run in this engine mode much longer. We're about a lap over target. Drop down to mix 2 soon.
Now it looks like Hamilton is on the verge of winning this Grand Prix. And Verstappen went on hards. That surprises me. I thought he would have gone onto the mediums, but he went onto the hard tires. I think Verstappen's team played that all wrong. Red Bull, what are you doing? Putting your driver on the worst tires to end the race. Big no-no. Moment, Hamilton is still stuck behind Sainz and Giovinazzi. Throw it up into rich mix. Overtake mode, DRS. Going for the fastest lap of the race, which Leclerc just got. We're on the better tires. And we're on a mission right now. Bottas is next in front of us. Can we get him into the next corner potentially? It's going to be close. We're closing. Dive. And we got him. We are in to P4. And closing in rapidly on the guys in front of us of Hamilton. Who would have thought battle for the win would involve myself, Hamilton, Carlos Sainz, and Antonio Giovinazzi. Make a diving move on Hamilton into the corner.
Giovinazzi has the lead.
Tight, but we don't get it. Hamilton, gonna go to his outside. As he tries to make a move on Sainz, pedaling the throttle just a little bit, just slight contact. A little bit of contact, but we get by him. We are into P3. And now, just Giovinazzi and Sainz to go in our sights.
Green flag. Green flag. We're racing again.
Yellow flag is out. Somebody's got a problem. Looks like one of the AlphaTauris. And it's Pierre Gasly. Out of the Bahrain Grand Prix late. And here comes Hamilton with DRS. Sainz has DRS. Hamilton going to make a move. We're going to make a move on Hamilton. It's going to be 3 wide and a turn 1. And we get them both back in one corner. Tight but clean racing. You'll love to see it. Just to throw it right into lean mixture. Being low on fuel. Outside pass on Giovinazzi. It's going to be tight for this sector of the course. Second sector. We get him. And Giovinazzi actually had a big moment there. But we skate into the lead of the Bahrain Grand Prix. Now we hope Giovinazzi just holds up Hamilton ever so slightly so that we can just skate away and put as much distance between him and ourselves on these soft compound tires. Again, massive credit to the Alfa Romeo, stretching the softs just long enough so they could go on a one-stop with Giovinazzi and Grosjean. Massive credit to the Italian and his team. Just drive by the stricken car, Pierre Gasly, out of the race following that engine failure. Going to use this rich mixture to our advantage now while we can. I know we're going to be going into the negatives here in a second, but just using it to build a gap. Could be a tight fight between myself and Hamilton at the very end here. Our tires are inevitably going to fall off. And Hamilton on those mediums will catch us. Just to be a matter of holding them off.
We have 5 laps of fuel remaining.
Curb a little bit. Good traction out of that corner. Try to blast away here. Actually didn't manage to sit the fastest lap that previous lap. I was actually, Flurry still held on to it. I guess we were more concerned with fighting the cars in front of us than focusing on getting the fastest lap, but nevertheless, we are in P1 for the moment.
The car behind is dropping back by about 0.3 a lap.
I don't think so, Jeff. I think Hamilton is catching me. Following the timing and scoring, I think he'll realize that he's actually catching me. But before we continue, just a quick look at the top 10 of this race as it stands right now with just a few laps to go. We are ahead of the 2 Mercedes drivers of Hamilton and Bottas. I think Leclerc might have gotten into 4th. Yes, he's in 4th. See, like I said, whoever was gonna get away first on the one-stoppers was gonna have the best result. And obviously for Carlos Sainz, he's the only one up front that started on the medium tires. It's even up there, but props to Giovinazzi, again, taking that softs all the way to the hards. It's really worked out for him. You have to say, it's really worked out. But we continue. Currently 5 laps to go before next time by. The fact that we're on such a light fuel load probably helps us. We don't have cars much lighter at this point. Turning tightly. We're off again.
There's 4 laps of fuel remaining.
Bahrain is just one of those circuits I tend to do very well at for whatever reason. I don't know, I do really like this track a lot. You know, a lot of high-speed sections into some sharp corners, which I guess seems to be the type of track that best suits my driving style. Kind of a bit of a technical section in the middle there. This corner can throw you off, as always, if you're not careful. Yeah, this is like, again, I think this is a track that just suits my skill set very well.
We're leading our teammate by 23.9 seconds. They're on old hards. They're in 17th. The time last lap was a 1 minute 34.1. They're in 10th.
Yeah, so definitely get the edge over Vettel this time. Which is good. Get that rivalry a little bit closer. I'm kind of surprised. We've actually built a little bit of a gap to Hamilton. He's not catching us right away, and we're actually gaining on him. It's almost 4 seconds now. I guess the only explanation for that would be that maybe our tires are now sort of equalizing, since he is on mediums, so his tires should last longer, but we're on the faster tire, which wears out quicker, and
We've only got 2 laps of fuel left.
He pitted for mediums a couple laps before I did, so perhaps that's what we're seeing right now. The tires are equalizing. I'm actually curious to see what happens with the championship lead at this point, because we finished second. If we win this race, we're going to get a big point load. Hamilton won't get the points lead, but he'll be back right up there after finishing second. I guess the lead contender for the point lead would probably be Bottas, because he finished fourth.
Gap to teammate behind is 25.8 seconds.
He finished fourth in Australia, and a third place here. That would give him 37, I want to say. Albon. Where's Albon running? Albon's running in P8, so he would only get 4 points. So he would be down to. He would actually lose the point lead. He'd be down to. He'd be only P2. What would that be? 29, I want to say. So I think Bottas would take the points lead with this result. It stands as it is now. It would be much closer. Verstappen will probably be up there because he was on the podium. I think Verstappen got third. So third and fifth. We'll probably put Verstappen right behind Bottas at 20. 25? Does that make sense? See, Bottas at 4th and 12.
There's only 1 lap of fuel remaining.
Plus 15 is 27. Okay, so maybe Albon would still hold the point lead. I don't know.
As things stand, we'll be second in the championship. This is your final lap of the race.
Okay, well, according to what my engineer just said, this current result, we would be second in the championship. I thought Bottas would have 37. It's actually 27. And actually, that might change now, so Leclerc has jumped Bottas and is now on the podium.
Couldn't receive that. Repeat the message.
Championship standings.
As things stand, we'll be second in the championship.
Very interesting to see how the standings look after this race. I mean, it's only 2 races in, but it's going to be all jumbled up, I think, or it's all going to be very close. You have people like Hamilton, who obviously DNF'd out of the last race. You've got people like Albon and Vettel, who were on the podium in the last race, who are just going to be on the outside edge of the points in this one. It'll be very interesting to see how things look. In the meantime, it looked a little sketchy there for a second, with Hamilton getting such a good result after that second stint. And then guys like Giovinazzi and Sainz being in front of us. We're going to come home for our 4th career win, our first of this new season, and we do it at the Bahrain Grand Prix.
Nice work, that's P1. Race win.
Great result.
Well done.
Excellent result. And Giovinazzi gets driver of the day, deservedly so, I guess you could say.
Here we are then, a real team effort to overcome their rivals for a memorable win here today. Anthony Davidson,
Here we go, that's what
what
you like
helped
to
them
see.
deliver this result, do you think?
I think that smart tyre management on track and very smooth driving definitely assisted in their
Yes,
victory
very
today.
smart tyre
that combination
management.
meant they
Thank
got the
you.
absolute maximum out of their tyres at all
Complimenting my
times.
skill. Let's wait for the podium celebration.
Here comes your top 3 making their way down to the podium for what can only be described as a fantastic day for Formula One.
And what I'd like is that the podium finishers in this race were completely different from the podium finishers in Australia. That's pretty cool.
Let's see how the driver standings have changed. That lead at the top of the table has shrunk somewhat today. Some amazing talent out on the track today. But Anthony, who would you pick as your driver of the day?
It's got to be Lewis Hamilton. I mean, he pulled off some impressive feats out on the track today, even by his standards.
Let's move on to the constructors. The current championship leaders still hold top spot, but that gap is getting smaller. There was also a strong showing from the Mercedes team today as they make their way up the standings. I'm equal parts exhausted and elated with this weekend of Formula One. Be sure to join us for the next one.
Alright, so that is the Bahrain Grand Prix. Very unfortunate for Giovinazzi. He gets driver of the day, but I guess he probably wishes that race was a lap shorter. Ends up falling out of the points after leading with about 5 laps to go. I guess that shows the pace difference between the McLaren and the Alfa Romeo, because Carlos Sainz is right behind him on a somewhat similar strategy with the one stop, but Sainz was able to maintain and kept to P7. So there's that. So we win. Hamilton and Leclerc right behind. The Bottas, Verstappen, Stroll, Sainz, Albon, Vettel, Rez. And this race, the only strategy that, or the only person who that one stop really worked for was Sainz. would work for Giovinazzi, but obviously fell right outside the points. Championship standings. Constructors. Red Bull still leads, but the lead tightens between them, Ferrari, and Mercedes. Alfa Romeo, Renault, Haas, and Williams have yet to score points. And in the driver standings, would you take a look at that? That is something. So I figured the points would be tight after this race, and they are. Look at it. Albon still leads with 30. We are 3 points behind it with 27. Then Leclerc's in third, and he's only 4 points out of the lead. Verstappen's in fourth, and he's 5 points out of the lead. Bottas is in fifth, only 6 points out. So again, obviously this is very early on, still only the second race of the year. And shocking that Hamilton gets second, but only manages to jump to 7th in the points. Very, very interesting night here in Bahrain. Good job at the Force India guys. Force India, there we go again. Racing Point. They've been Racing Point for like 2 years now. I don't know how I'm still making that mistake sometimes when I'm playing this game, but Racing Point. Good job by those guys. They scored a decent chunk of points, particularly Lance Stroll, so good for them. And then Sainz, and then the last 2 point scorers thus far in the season are Gasly and Norris. So there you go, that is the Bahrain Grand Prix.
Amazing performance out there. I'm sure you're pretty happy with that. It doesn't get much better than a win at this track, does it?
Compliment the power unit there.
You really cut your way through the field today. What was your strategy?
See, Claire's nimbleness. Compliment the chassis department.
What do you think made the difference between this weekend and last weekend?
Compliment the durability department.
You're beating all expectations. Would you say we all underestimated you? Appreciate your time.
So what can we get for us? Magnussen, not so much, which is kind of surprising. I mean, again, our car on the performance chart is middle of the pack. But I would still think that, you know, with Magnussen's improved stats, that he would be a little bit more closer to the points. I'm kind of surprised that he's not. I'm not saying I'm expecting him to score points every race, but I feel like he'd be more, or he'd be a lot closer to getting, you know, points than he is. 861k. 100k, no damage. Great, excellent. We're up to $11.39 million. Now, obviously, you do have to save some money in preparation for Magnussen's contract negotiations halfway through the year to make sure that we have enough to pay him. Like I said last year, I'm not someone who's a fan of changing drivers mid-season, so I want to make sure I maintain Magnussen for the remainder of the season. Alright. We actually have the resource points to do what we were going to do, so we'll go to the R&D. Chassis morale is good. we do have an invitational event. Now, that actually works out because these chassis facility upgrades don't come in until the 26th, and the chassis, or the invitational is on the 27th. So what we can do is we can hold off on doing the upgrade now, wait till after the invitational, and then do it obviously before we run up to the Vietnam Grand Prix. Activities. We'll do some weight training for Magnussen for sure. We'll do a sponsor event advertisement for the drivers because that'll give us some team acclaim as well as some cash. So that looks like an easy one to go with. We will do weight training for Magnussen. And then I think we'll go with the funded team event because that updates the morale for everyone. So I think that's a good set of activities. And again, we will hold off on doing the upgrade for the chassis until after the invitational event. So let's see what this invitational event is. Oh, and we had a part fail. That's wonderful. Alright, invitational challenge. We will do that at Circuit of the Americas, and it is a overtake challenge. Shouldn't be too bad.
Now, while today's Classic Exhibition event has no direct impact upon the Formula One World Championship, you better believe that with their reputations on the line, the drivers down there are still hungry to show that they've got what it takes to get a win.
Alright, let's get this challenge over and done with. Hit overtake 10 cars in a lot of time. I believe we are driving the 2007 Ferrari. Could be wrong, but I believe this is the, judging by the design of the front wing, pretty sure this is a mid-2000s Ferrari. Because front wings from that era are very distinguishable, that is for sure. Issues getting through that corner after I pass this guy. There we go, that's better. Get out of the way, come on. Yep, we are very close to claiming victory on this challenge. 2 more guys to pass, we got 2 minutes left. Just top it out at 188 down the straight, so we'll not go any faster than that. And looks like we are about to get it right here. I don't know, do we still have to go to the end of the time, or just challenge it when we get the start-finish line? We'll see. Nope, they gotta run the timeout. Very gloomy conditions here in Austin. Get the job done. And there we go, challenge completed. Alright. So like I said, so if we had tried to do the upgrade as we got to Vietnam, it wouldn't have, there'd be no point in doing it because we would have to save. Or we would not be able to save, but because we still have stuff to do, it should come off just fine. Alright, so go to R&D. How much is it going to be to replace this part? 362. Okay, I think we might actually get enough resource points where we can do that, where I could take care of that at the start when I turn the game on next time going into Vietnam. But, so we're going to go with the fuel tank positioning. We're going to go with a... Let's see, the morale is up and the facility has been improved, so now what would be a 14% chance of failure is now a 39% chance of failure, which works out better. Though then again, actually just notice this now, it won't matter if I do rushed or standard on this one, because it's still going to be ready in time for the Chinese Grand Prix, so why rush it when I can get it done in the same period between races? So, I guess there is no need in this case to really do the rushed one, so we'll just go standard. That should jump us a couple positions in the chassis area, which is good. And hey, it sucks that we're not getting this down force upgrade, but it'll come in for the next race. And the good news is that it'll just help us continue our trend going up the tree. So, because my goal, I think, is going to be at least every week for a certain period of time, just try to continue to go up in the chart. So, but to the meantime, we will advance time. And we're going to be ready to go for the Vietnam Grand Prix in the next episode.